some Christians go try to demonize sex. They make sex so untalkable. They make it so unapproachable that people start to think that when they get married, they can't enjoy sex. Do you know that in the Garden of Eden, the first command God said was essentially have sex? The first command God said was be fruitful and multiply. Before, do not murder. Before, do not steal. In the Garden of Eden, he said, be fruitful and murder. Be fruitful and murder. Oh gosh, that sounds so bad. In the Garden of Eden, the first command in the whole entire Bible that God gave Adam and Eve was be fruitful and multiply. Go have sex and have kids. And when he said this, Adam had not eaten from the evil tree. He had not been deceived. Sin was not even in earth yet. There was no such thing as sin, and God was telling people to have sex. So you cannot say sex is inherently bad because it existed in a non-sinful world. Before the evil apple was eaten, before sin entered the world, God commanded us to have sex. So sex existed before sin. So you cannot say sex is all bad. If you read Song of Solomon, sometimes listed Song of Songs, it's a whole book about sex. It sounds like there's oral sex and crazy sex that's not baby-making sex. So you could make the argument that sex is certainly for pleasure in the Bible. There's a psalm that says, let your wife of your youth. There's a psalm that says, let the dear wife of your youth enjoy her breasts. Breasts don't make babies, so it makes it sound like you can have sex for enjoyment. Sex is for pleasure, and it is for reproduction, and it is for covenant, that when you're with someone, you're more likely to stay with them if you have sex. It's for marriage covenant. It's for pleasure. It's for sex helps you to not sin. You are helping sanctify. What the word sanctify means is that the word sanctify means when you accept Christ to the day of your death, you're becoming more and more like Christ. And then when you enter heaven, you're fully like Christ. I mean, you're not a God like Christ, but you're sinless like Christ when you enter heaven. And so it says, from the day you accept Christ on earth to the end of your life, you are slowly becoming less and less sinful. And when you have a wife and you're having sex, you're helping them be less sinful because they're not sinning. They're having sex with you inside of a marriage, which is how God designed it. And they're helping you not sin because they're helping you with your lustful desires, having sex with them, which is not sinful inside of a marriage. Now, this is cliche analogy. I've heard it many times, so I'm not the originator of saying this, but sex is like a fire. Think about a fire. When a fire is contained, it brings warmth, it brings joy, it brings community. A fire cooks, a fire feeds, a fire fuels. A fire inside a fire pit, which is what I'm sitting on, is incredible. But if I were to walk into my house and my house was on fire, I'd be friggin' scared. I'd be like, oh my God. I mean, I live in California. You know how much of this area has been destroyed by fires? I've had more fire days off of school than I've had snow days. I've never had a snow day, but I've had a number of fire days. Fire uncontrolled is one of the most dangerous things on earth, but fire controlled is one of the most life-giving things on earth. Sex uncontrolled is one of the most dangerous things on earth. Sex controlled is one of the most loving, giving things on earth. Sex is like fire. Uncontrolled, it will destroy you. Controlled, it will give you life.